Hello everyone, this is Troy from TroyPoint.com, and in this video I'm going to show you my favorite Wi-Fi 6 WireGuard VPN router setup with the Asus RT-AX86U Pro. This is a powerful router that will provide most of you with little to no download speed degradation when the VPN is active. Your streaming devices will love this because they won't see the huge speed decrease that we get when running the VPN app directly on the device. The nice thing about running a VPN off the router is that you don't need to worry about using VPN applications on the devices that you want to protect within your network. Plus, this Asus router allows us to define which devices are protected by the VPN and which aren't. Now, there are a couple of drawbacks of running a VPN on a router, and I covered those in this video as well. Everything that I reference will be linked in the notes below, such as a huge Surfshark VPN discount, and a purchase link for the exact router that I'm using in this tutorial. Alright guys, my new Asus router is connected properly to my network. Nothing special, you just connect it as you would any other router. If you want to run multiple routers on your network, you can simply plug this one into an available LAN port on your existing router, and this new one will automatically configure itself as a second router. That's exactly what I've done because I want to keep my primary router in place and use this one mostly as a VPN router. Now you'll see I'm on my Windows PC and I've connected the new Asus router to my computer via LAN connection. In my opinion, this is the best way to get the router up and running as opposed to trying to do it wirelessly. Less hassle if you have an Ethernet cord running from your computer to the Asus router. Okay, now we need to set up the router. I'm going to launch my Chrome browser. You can use any browser on your computer, doesn't matter if it's a PC, Linux, Mac, whatever. You can also do this through a phone or tablet. However, I find a computer to be much easier. In the address bar, I'm going to type in router.asus.com, hit enter, and now I get the welcome screen for my new router. I'm going to hit create a new network. Okay, right away I do want to separate the 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz bands. So I'm going to click that. And now I can create a network name for each of those bands. Now when I say network name, what that means is that's the wireless network that you're going to see when you go into your wireless settings on any device to connect to it. Since I'm mostly using this as a VPN router, what I'm going to do is call this Secure Net. And you'll notice when I do that, it automatically names my 5 gigahertz router as SecureNet_5G. Now I could change that if I'd like, but that's completely fine. I'm going to leave it as is. So now when I want to connect wirelessly to this router on any device, I'm going to see these two options in the list. Now the difference between 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz is that 2.4 covers larger areas, however 5 gigahertz is going to give you faster speeds. And now I'm going to input a password, and it automatically fills it in as well for the 5 gigahertz band. So we're using the same password to connect to this on our different devices, which is good. Okay, I'm going to move down and hit apply. And now it's asking us to change the router login information to get into the router control panel. You can set this to whatever you'd like. Put a username here and then a password here. Again, this is just for the control panel. This is to get into your router settings through the browser here. This is not what you use to connect your devices to your router. We just set that previously. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in this information here and then click the next button. Okay, now it's showing that there is a firmware upgrade available. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade. All right, it looks like it's going to take about 3 minutes. I'll just let it sit here and update. Okay, the update has completed. I'm going to hit next. Okay, now I'm on my control panel login screen. So I'm going to log in. And now you're going to see all kinds of different settings that can be manipulated in this area. Now I'm not going to go through every single screen here. I'm just going to hit on the important ones to get this up and running as far as the VPN is concerned. Okay, the first thing I want to do is go into wireless. Now the only item that I suggest checking in this area for both the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz bands is making sure that Wi-Fi 6 mode is enabled. And you'll see that it is for me. If it isn't enabled, go ahead and enable it. This is one of the main reasons we're using this router is because it supports Wi-Fi 6 connections. You definitely want to take advantage of that. So right now in the wireless settings, that's the only thing that I'm going to look at this moment. Everything else should be good. Okay, let's set up our VPN connection now. I'm going to move down, hit VPN. I want to go into VPN Fusion. And now the great thing about Asus routers is that it comes default with quickly setting up Surfshark VPN, which you can see here. So what I want to do now is log into my Surfshark VPN account in another tab. So I'm going to go to surfshark.com. By the way, if you don't have a Surfshark account, I will provide a link in the video notes below with a great discount. Be sure to click that link and you will get maximum savings by going through my affiliate link. And you're also supporting Troy Point. I thank you very much for that. Okay, I'm going to hit login. I'm going to input my account email address and password. Okay, you will see that I've been logged into my Surfshark VPN account. Now I'm going to go back to the control panel for my Asus wireless router. Now I'm going to click Add Profile. Connection name, you can name this whatever you'd like. I'm just going to call this Surfshark. Move down, and now it's asking for a VPN type. I'm going to hit the down arrow here for a VPN type, and you're going to see here there's different options. If you are a Surfshark VPN customer, you want to choose Surfshark. We're going to be using the WireGuard protocol in this setup, which is much faster than these other protocols that you see here. Now, even though WireGuard is listed, that's for people who have a different service than Surfshark. So yes, if you have a different VPN service, you can set those up manually here. But the great thing about this router, it makes it very easy for us to configure the WireGuard protocol through our Surfshark account. So Surfshark is selected here, and I'm going to choose region. And now what this does is list the various servers within the Surfshark VPN service. Now I suggest choosing whichever server is closest to your physical location to get the best speeds. Unless you're trying to get around certain geo blocks, then you're going to choose whichever location necessary to do that. But for me, Chicago is the closest to my physical location, so I'm going to choose that. And now it's asking for a private key. And that's why we need to be logged into our Surfshark VPN account. I'm going to go back in there, hit the down arrow where VPN is located on the left menu, click Manual Setup, choose Router, WireGuard. I don't have a key pair. You can name this whatever you like. I'm going to just call this Router. Next, generate a new key pair. And you'll see here it gives us a public key and a private key. I want to copy the private key. I'm going to go back into my control panel for my Asus wireless router, paste that private key into this box. Now I want to hit apply and enable. But before I do that, I want to test what my internet speed is on this device before I activate the VPN. So I'm going to open a new tab, type in speed test, and I'm just going to use the Google speed test here, run speed test. And I do have a gigabit internet plan. You're going to see I'm getting 721 megabits per second down and 536 up. So back into the control panel for the router. Now I'm going to hit apply and enable. And you're going to see here in this box, it automatically adds the WireGuard VPN protocol and enables it. Now let's make sure that this is actually connected right now to the VPN. I'm going to open another tab, do dnsleaktest.com, and you're going to see here it has changed my IP address. It is coming from Chicago, which is good. Let's hit standard test. And you're going to see here there are no DNS leaks. Everything is working the way it should. Now back to speed test. Even with my VPN active, I'm getting screaming fast. Download speeds 706 megabits per second, upload 633, and that's due to the WireGuard protocol. Back into the control panel. Now, if I wanted to deactivate the VPN, I can easily do that by just pressing this button here. And then here in a little bit, I'm going to show you how we can assign various devices on our network to either use or not use the VPN. But before I do that, I want to move over to a couple of my streaming devices, connect those to this Wi-Fi network, make sure everything is working properly with the VPN, come back here, and then I'm going to show you how we can do some selective routing and tell it exactly which devices we want on the VPN and which ones we don't. Okay guys, I'm now on my ON 4K Pro Android TV box. You're going to see here, I am currently connected to the Surfshark VPN application. And the reason I did that is because I want to show you the speeds that I get with this app. And then I'm going to disconnect from the app. We will connect to our new Wi-Fi network, which is protected by the VPN. We're going to test speeds there and see what the difference is. Okay, I'm going to open Analytics. Okay, I'm getting 46 megabits per second down and about 29 up. So I'm going to go to the home screen, go into Surfshark VPN, disconnect this because we no longer need the app since we're going to be using the VPN on the router. Go back to the home screen, into network settings, go to settings, network and internet. And here you're going to see our new two wireless networks, Secure Net and Secure Net 5G. I want to connect to the 5G one. That should be faster. Like I said earlier, 5 gigahertz is faster than 2.4 gigahertz, but 2.4 gigahertz covers a larger area. Since I'm right next to my router, 5G should work great for me. I'm going to type in the password that I set earlier in the tutorial. Okay, I am connected. Back to the home screen. Now what I like doing is whenever I change my VPN connection or I go from a VPN connection to no connection or vice versa, I always like to go back into settings, apps, Analytics, force stop, clear cache. That way it's not remembering the previous connection. Okay, let's try the speed test now that we're connected to our new router. A huge change, as you can see, because we're now using the VPN on the router and we're not requiring CPU resources from the streaming device. And I do know that I am connected to the VPN. Top right-hand corner, it's showing a different IP address than the one that my internet service provider assigns to me. You can also move over here, go to check VPN. Now you're going to notice it says this connection is not using VPN software on this device. And the reason it's saying that is because it knows that it's not using an actual VPN on the device. But what it doesn't know is that we're using a VPN on the router. So don't get confused with that language there. The important thing is that I know my VPN is working due to the fact that my IP address has been changed to 149.34.240.110. Okay, now I'm going to move over to my Formula Z11 Pro Max and we're going to do the same exact test. Okay guys, just like on the previous device, I'm going to go into Surfshark VPN app. You'll see that I am currently connected. Back to the home screen. I'm going to move down. Launch Analytics on this one. 97 megabits per second down and 62 up. All right, back to the home screen. I'm going to go into Surfshark. We'll disconnect this. Back to the home screen. I'm going to go into Settings, Apps, Analytics, Force Stop, Clear Cache. All right. I'm going to go back a few screens, go into Network and Internet. And here are my two new access points. Just like on the previous one, I'm going to hit Secure Net 5G. Type in the password. Okay, I'm now connected to my VPN router, back into Analytics, getting very strong speeds on this one as well. As you will see, top right-hand corner, I know my VPN is working because the IP address has changed on this one as well. Now, the Z11 Pro Max comes with a powerful gigabit Ethernet port, so I'm going to try testing that now. I'm going to plug the Z11 Pro Max directly into the back of an available LAN port on my new Asus router. Into settings, you're going to see here network and internet. It does say Ethernet is connected. I'm going to go into apps. We'll do the same thing, force stop, clear cache. So through the gigabit Ethernet port on the Z11 Pro Max, almost getting 100% full speeds by running the VPN on the router with Surfshark WireGuard protocol. So as you can see here, these various streaming devices that have a hard time pushing out good speeds through their native app, if you're running the VPN through the router, you're going to get much better speeds. Now, there are a few downfalls in running a VPN on the router, and I will show you briefly. If we go back into Surfshark VPN application, there are some features in here that you can't take advantage of if you are running a VPN off the router. One of them is Clean Web. Clean Web blocks ads, trackers, and malware. Unfortunately, we can't take advantage of that when running the VPN through the router. And then we have the split tunneling option here, which allows us to ignore certain applications when running the VPN application. Again, that's something that we can't do either. Those are the two big downfalls of running the VPN on your router. Okay, now let's move back over to the router, and I'm going to show you how you can specify which devices you want protected by the VPN and which ones you don't. Okay, we're back in the control panel of the Asus wireless router, and you're going to see here we're on the same page that we were earlier when we set up our profile, and there's a button here, Apply to All Devices. So this is currently set to where anything that goes through this router will be protected by the VPN. Now, we can disable this, but first, to make any changes, you want to come up here and deactivate the VPN. So I'm going to do that, move down. Let's say we want the VPN to protect the on 4K Pro streaming device, but we don't want the VPN to protect the Formula Z11 Pro Max. What I would do is come in here and turn this off, go into device. Now this right here shows the different devices that are currently connected to the router. Now it may be difficult to discern between which device is which, but you can go into the network settings on these streaming devices and see what the local IP address is. When I do that, I know that .171 is my Formula device. So I'm going to leave this unchecked, and I know this one right here is the on 4K Pro. It ends in 161. So I'm going to turn this on. M2 is the Windows machine that I'm using right now. So I want to enable this for my Windows PC as well. And this here is the Formula Z11 Pro Max when I connected through the Wi-Fi network. So I click OK. And once I do that, all I need to do is click Apply All Settings. It's asking me to log back into the control panel. I'm going to go into VPN, VPN Fusion. You'll see everything has been saved. When I turn this on here, the only two devices on this router that will be protected by the VPN will be my Windows machine and the on 4K Pro streaming box. Says that it's connected. I'm going to open DNS leak test here to make sure that that is the case. And it is connecting to the Chicago Surfshark server, and my IP address has changed, and there are no DNS leaks. So this is working the way it should. Now I do want to show you a quick tip that will help you differentiate between these devices. You can actually rename these devices that are connected to this router. I'm going to show you really quick how to do that. All you need to do is go into LAN, DHCP server, and if I scroll down, you're going to see here the devices that are currently connected to the router. And all you need to do is go into them by clicking it. This one here is named M2, but like I said earlier, this is my Windows machine. You can name this whatever you'd like. For this one, I would identify this as Windows Office. Hit apply. 161 was my on 4K box. On 4K Pro, apply. And then this one here is my Formula Z11 Pro Max, apply. And then once I set all those, I'm going to hit apply again. You can see here the names have been changed. And if we go back into VPN Fusion, Chicago, you'll see that those have carried over to every other screen within the Asus wireless router control panel. Now the last tip I'm going to leave you with is that the Asus router comes with nice applications for both Android and Apple. You can install these on your phones or tablets, and then you can easily access the VPN settings within the application and make quick adjustments there rather than going to your computer, firing up a browser, or opening a browser on your phone or tablet and trying to find the setting that you need. I personally have the Android application installed on both my phone and tablet, and it allows me to make quick adjustments. Guys, as I mentioned, everything that I referenced is in the video notes below. We have a huge Surfshark VPN discount, and I also have a purchase link for the exact Asus router that I'm using in this tutorial. As always, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell icon to be notified when I release new videos like this in the future. As always, thank you very much for following Troy Point. Have an awesome day.